Welcome to the first video of a 4-video series on the personal statement. Series which should help you have a better understanding, greater knowledge, and build confidence in you writing your personal statement to help you get into the top unis like I did, which were Cambridge, Imperial, LSE, UCL, and KCL. What are the 4 videos? Well, the first one and this one is on exactly every single super curricular I mentioned in my personal statement, which got me into the top unis. And then the second one will be on common mistakes people make on their personal statement, which leaves them being average, being mid, and not being set aside by admissions officers. The third one will be on my personal statement. I will be sharing my personal statement with you guys, going through it, talking through exactly what I did, why I did it. And then the fourth one will be on what I would do differently if I were to do it again. I think these 4 videos will cover absolutely everything you need to know. So make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. I'm trying to get monetized. So let's go. Join my Discord server. This is the perfect opportunity for me to share the invite link, which will be in the description and in my bio, to my own Discord server where you will be able to talk to me, ask me any questions, talk to other like-minded people which have ambition, which have drive, and it's a server for literally everyone. Whether you haven't done your GCSEs, you're doing them, you've done them, A levels, uni, post uni, literally everyone. Essentially, a way for me to build a community around my YouTube channel, which is something that I really want to do. So make sure you join up. You can ask questions about your personal statement as well there to not just me, but other people that have gone into top unis. Join my Discord server. Let's get into the video. Straight away, let's go into the first super curricular I mentioned right after the introduction of my personal statement, which was an online course. It was a course which was provided by a company called The Leaf, and the name was The Mathematics of Morality. This was a course I came across when I was scrolling on my TikTok For You page, and I saw a guy, I think his name is J5 Studies, and he was talking about how this course stands out to Oxbridge applicants, to Cambridge admissions officers. So I was like, this is something I want to do. Why not give it a go? And I gave it a go. And I quickly want to mention this course is not the only way to stand out to Cambridge admissions officers. I don't even know if they do, but there are alternatives. Alternatives like MOOCs. Look into doing MOOCs which are specific to your course. Online courses which are beyond your A-level specification. This is why I mentioned the Mathematics of Morality course, because it delved into aspects of mathematics relating to economics which were beyond the A-level course, something that I've never come across before. And this is what you want your super curriculars to be tailored with, to be tailored against. I don't know what the right preposition is. My English skills are lacking, but you get what I'm trying to say. Basically, your super curriculars need to show that you have an interest enough for you to do your own research, do your own work outside of school, do independent work, which is beyond the A-level specification, beyond anything that you will ever do in school, because this shows that you are interested to your admissions officer. So what I did was I mentioned that I took part in this course, and then I zoomed in. This is what you want to do with every super curricular. You want to zoom into something. I zoomed into Bayes' theorem, this was one of the aspects of the course. I zoomed into Bayes' theorem, talked about my interest in it, what interested me, why it's interesting, etc. And then I linked it to a super curricular, a second one, which was my EPQ. Now it's debatable whether you can class an EPQ as a super curricular, but I will, because it was on Bayes' theorem, it was beyond the A-level spec, it was relating to my course, so why not? Anyways, this EPQ allowed me to stretch from my first super curricular. There was a link I built between the two. You want to do this. You mention your super curricular, and then you build a bridge to another super curricular, a second super curricular, which will show that you stretched your interest. As you can see, I was interested by Bayes' theorem, and I stretched that interest by doing my EPQ on it. You want to create links, you want to create stretches, stretch, stretch, stretch. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you develop your interest in each paragraph. You don't need to develop it from the front to the end. As you'll be able to see in my personal statement how I did it exactly, it will be a lot more clearer. So stay tuned for that third episode, that third video in the series. Now, I mentioned my EPQ. Obviously, it was a tremendous way for me to show my interest in the course once again and to show the skills which I developed. From your super curricular, you want to pick out skills which will be applicable to your course. So, from my EPQ, I developed research skills. Research skills are basically applicable to every single course. Like, is there a course where you don't have to do research? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, this was the first paragraph after my introduction and two super curriculars right there straight away. Now, the second type of super curricular that I really want to talk about, and once again, I stress my importance. This genuinely carried my personal statement, and it was online articles. And they were from a website called JSTOR. You create an account on JSTOR and you have access to a certain amount of articles per month for free. And these articles are complex, they're high level. You can basically find an article on absolutely any topic that you are interested in, any topic. And you can also use it as that super curricular to stretch. So let's say instead of talking about my EPQ, I picked out Bayes' theorem. And then I said, I developed my interest by reading an article called da 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 da. Which articles did I pick out? Now, once again, this was not related to Bayes' theorem. This was part of his second, third, fourth paragraph. Basically, I just want to talk about JSTOR articles as a whole. And the two articles which I picked out are right here. High level, complex articles. I just want to stress that. Once again, showing your interest, showing how academically driven you really are, showing your academic potential to these admissions officers. And you'll be reading these kinds of articles in your course at the top universities for sure. You'll be reading high level lecture notes, high level this, high level that. This is showing that you are suitable at their university for this course. So please, 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 I highly recommend that you give JSTOR articles a go. Go onto the website, find something which is relating to your course, something you can talk about as a super curricular in your personal statement. And it's so easy to do. You can literally do this last minute. Obviously, don't do it last minute. Start doing it now, start doing it in summer. But you can do these so quickly. And bear in mind, you're not going to understand everything that it says in the article. You can use AI here. You can use AI to help you understand bits that you don't think. Let's say you don't understand a paragraph, copy that, paste that, ask ChatGPT to explain it to you. Obviously, do not use AI to write your personal statement. If you do this, you're stupid. You're actually stupid. You might get caught out, and if you get caught out, it's reps for you, bro. Like, it's actually reps for you. You're not going to uni in this cycle, let alone the next one. Maybe you get into the next one. Now, the third super curricular I talked about was the role I played in my school's magazine called The Westcliff Economist. And I did this as a way to stretch on a previous point. I picked out a super curricular, maybe an article, I zoomed in on something, and then I said, once again, I stretched by saying this led me to write an article on this for my school's magazine, etc. Pick out the skills which I developed from having this role in my school's magazine, which is applicable to my course. You can literally rinse and repeat this method. Supercurricular, interest, how it affected you, how it made you feel. This is what you want to talk about. You don't want to talk about what you learnt, because let's say you show a book. I'll talk about the books that I mentioned later. Let's say you mention this book and then you say, yeah, it taught me about this and this, it told me this. Your admissions officer can read the book and find out for themselves if they want to know what the book said, what the book is talking about. You want to talk about yourself, your character, and how you will play the role in their course, in their university, how you will adapt to their environment. This is what you want to talk about. This is what you want to focus on. So once again, I stress it again. How you are feeling, how it moves you, where it leads you to do. These are the three questions you want to be asking yourself and others as well that show your character and how it makes you approach these academic articles, these academic books, these super curriculars. Now let's talk about books. Don't mention all the generic books, the books which you search up, economics books. Yeah, let me read this one. No, you're everyone is going to do this. Everyone is going to talk about these books. The examiners, sorry, the admissions officers are tired about reading about this book. Everyone's going to talk about the same thing. They don't care about your personal statement anymore. They put it to the side. Get out, man. That's what they're saying. Get out. Um, Pick the niche books, please. Please pick niche books, niche ideas. If you pick a generic book, now I mentioned three books, two were niche and one was a very common one. If you're picking that common book, pick out a niche idea, not the same generic things you've read in all the personal statements on Student Room and everything else. Now, these are the three books which I mentioned, and once again, I zoomed in. I zoomed into an idea, a concept in this book, which is beyond the A level specification. This is like my fifth time saying beyond the A level specification because this is what you want to do. Okay? So pick out these niche books, zoom into these ideas, get reading if you haven't already, by the way. If you have not already started to read at least part of a book, if not the entire book, get reading. You do not want to leave doing super curriculars until the end. You want to focus on drafting. You want to focus on actually creating that personal statement in answering those 5 questions. That's right. I think this year the style changes. It's 4 or 5 questions. I'm not too sure. I think I'll do my research and create a video on that as well later on, and how you should go about answering these questions, which will be the focus. But yeah, it doesn't really change anything. It's all going to be the same ideas, the same content that you would put in a normal personal statement, but just a different layout. So don't stress too much about that. And the next super curricular, this is an important one: essay competitions. If you have not taken part in an essay competition, pause the video. I'm going to stop watching my video and look up whatever your course is, essay competitions, economics essay competitions, philosophy essay competitions, and take part in an essay competition about a a topic which is beyond the A level specification. Now, this is an opportunity for you to mention a secondary super curricular to stretch from your primary one. You've zoomed into your primary one, you've talked about a concept. This led me to take part in this essay competition to talk about this. I argued this, I did this. What did you do? What did you focus on? What did you feel? All of that stuff. What an amazing way for you to show your interest in the course, for you to show your academic potential, for you to show your academic skills, for you to show the examiner why you deserve a spot on the course that they are offering. Take part in essay competitions. You can mention 2 essay competitions in your thing. I only mentioned one, but literally you can mention 2, and you don't even need to win anything. This is the amazing thing. They will never read your essay competition, okay? They will never see, they do not care if you won. Obviously, if you win something, you get a honorable mention, or you win a big essay competition, like a worldwide one or a Cambridge one. They're gonna be like, yeah, this guy's sick and this guy's legit. That stands out, but it doesn't stand out too much, and it's not important if you don't win anything. I didn't win anything. I mentioned the CMA essay competition. This is Competitions and Market Authority one, and took part in it. I didn't win anything. Just got a reply saying, "Yeah, thank you for your submission, whatever." Da, 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 da. I mentioned it in my personal statement. Wow, it's essentially it's free. It's a free way for you to add that stretch, to add that development, which is what you need to focus on. Another super curricular was a personal project which I took on board with 2 of my friends, and it's called Oxbridge. It was a social media platform we created in which we created social media posts, TikTok posts, which shared information to users, to viewers about things going on currently in the world, current affairs, things which were beyond the A level specification. I mentioned my post on the time series analysis. Time series analysis was a zoom in, which I did. I think it was on a book. I'm not too sure. I haven't read my personal statement in time, but you'll see in that third episode, I zoomed in and that allowed me to stretch. The Econ Bridge secondary supercurricular allowed me to stretch from that primary supercurricular. And this allowed me to develop my interest. It allowed me to show what I did, what actions I took, what steps I took forward when I took on board this primary supercurricular, when I read this book, when I read this JSTOR article. Stretch. This was literally the reason my personal statement was amazing. Like, I'm gonna soft glaze my personal statement. When you guys read it in episode 3, you're gonna be like, yeah, safe, bro. This guy deserves to get to all 5. Soft glaze. And I did get a lot of help. I have to say that I got a lot of help from amazing people. Some people which I knew, some people which I reached out to on LinkedIn. I'll talk about more about this later in the series, but genuinely, bro, I love my personal statement. I read through it and I get gassed. Why? Because I mentioned a super curricular and I stretched. How many times have I used the words stretch and beyond the A level specification in this video? Too many times. Just too many times. Because I can't stress it enough. Please focus your personal statement on doing these things. This is what matters. This is what is going to help your personal statement stand out. And right at the end, people talk about work experience sometimes. I didn't talk about work experience because it was not relating to my course. All of my work experiences were finance related. It was I did a HSBC work experience. But I was applying for economics. Finance and economics are not the same thing. It did not directly apply to my course. So I was asked to remove it from my personal statement from someone. And I followed their advice because to me that makes sense. I'm not applying for accounting and finance for me to mention the finance work experience right at the end. I didn't mention, yeah, I like to play cricket on Saturdays. Yeah, I like to go swimming. I didn't mention I play in a band. I didn't mention any extracurriculars. I focused my whole thing on supercurriculars. Right at the end, I mentioned that I took part on Imperial's Further Maths online program, which was a way for me to show my interest in mathematics because that is what the top economic courses in the UK are looking for. They're very mathematically orientated, especially Cambridge, especially LSE, especially Imperial. Very maths based, so showing my interest in further maths, here's a story, real quick story. Right at the end of my Cambridge interview, my second one, I had 2 interviews for Cambridge. Right at the end of my second one of the interviewers asked me, what is your favorite subject? Just as like a general thing. Straight away, I said further maths. I love further maths. I love the challenge. I love the complexity. I started to glaze further maths. And if you're applying to the top economics courses, make sure you have a very heavy glaze on maths, further maths. And then I also mentioned another personal project which I took on board with some of my friends where we created a tutoring platform kind of thing. Essentially, we developed a community called 9 Stars where people could come together. They could ask for help. They could ask for guidance. We offered that guidance. We offered that help. And yeah, that was my entire personal statement. And stay tuned for that episode 3. Like, genuinely, when I go through my personal statement, it's something you guys, no matter what course you're applying to, I hope you tune in because it will definitely help level up your personal statement. Cannot, cannot, like, you won't find help like this anywhere else on the internet for free, which is available to everyone. Not from an individual, but like this is a video I'm making, and I'll be making that video so good, like speaking through my entire personal statement from finish to end, from beginning to end. So please stay tuned. This was every supercurricular I mentioned in my personal statement. Other supercurriculars quickly that you could mention, which I didn't mention, because I want to stress again, these are not the set supercurriculars which will get into the top unis. These are not the only ones. These are not the most important ones. There might be better ones. It all comes down to how you are writing your personal statement, what your supercurriculars are exactly about, how complex is the topic, is it beyond the A level specification, how, basically how they show your interest in the course. Other supercurriculars, podcasts. You pick a podcast, it's all about what you zoom into. It's not about your primary supercurricular. It's not all about it's not always about what your supercurricular is. It's what you zoom into. You want to zoom into the best things, the things which will stand out. So podcasts, zoom into something which stands out to you. Any independent research projects which you took on, any volunteering. Let's say you're applying for med related degree. Volunteering is pretty important for that. Something I know. Maybe lectures. Oh my god, lectures. I think I may have talked about a lecturer in my personal statement. I'm not too sure because I did remove lectures from the thing. But lectures are an amazing, amazing super curricular. I can't believe I forgot about lectures. I forgot to talk about it. Maybe you attended a lecture at LSE. For example, I attended the LSE Shadow Scheme, in which I took part in a lecture on da 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 da. I did actually do this, by the way. And you zoom in, bro, because they're not going to be teaching you your A level economics in your university lecture. Once again, video is not for people that are doing economics, it's for everyone. You just have to apply what I'm saying to your course, and I hope you have the capacity to do that. It's pretty simple. You should be able to do it. Um, that sounds so rude. I might get rid of that because the guy that was saying that Coventry is a great uni, bro. Big up Coventry. I was not chatting shit about your university, man. The best jacket potato is in Coventry University, guys. Big up Coventry, man. I actually love Coventry. Even, bro, on Monopoly, bro. I swear, I had the train station one. Coventry was the most expensive, bro. Big up Coventry. What am I talking about? It's not about the super curricular. It's anything which shows your interest and it's what you zoom into. This is what your focus should be on. Obviously, take inspiration from the super curriculars which I did. If you feel like you haven't done enough, do more. This is something I would also like to add. It's better to have a greater range of supercurriculars than to not have enough. You want to be able to leave supercurriculars out. That's when you know your personal statement is top tier. When you have to get rid of things, when you can't talk about things that you want to. This is a problem which you want to have when you're writing your personal statement. So get as much as you can done quickly now so you have time to actually focus on writing up a proper personal statement. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the rest of the series. I think I'll have other videos in between the episodes of the series. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and sub. Comment if you have any questions, any video requests, absolutely anything. And join my Discord server. Let's build that community. Let's get me monetized, man. Oh my god, I need money. Guys, I need money. Please.